Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. If you're new, I'm Kristen, and today is going to be an Easter/spring compilation video. It is some of my favorites I made last year, so let's jump into the video. But before I get started, I do want to thank Persona Nutrition for sponsoring today's video. If you guys don't know who Persona Nutrition is, they are a next generation of vitamin and nutrient home delivery platform. Your vitamins are sent monthly to your door, which is super convenient for me. I don't have to go to the store, pick out all these vitamins that I need, and sometimes I don't really know what I need. So I love that it's super easy to sign up. You just take a short little assessment test, and it'll ask you your name, address, and it'll also ask you some personal health questions so they can perfect your supplements for you. They also ship to 155 plus countries, and they have 60 plus vegan supplements. All packaging is also biodegradable, and what I love about them is they did partner with Vitamin Angels, and they provide 2 children with vitamin A for a year with every order shipped. If you guys want to check out Persona Nutrition, I will leave a link in the description box below, but I also want to tell you guys that Persona is letting me do a giveaway. So you'll get a free month of Persona Nutrition. All you have to do is comment below on why you want to start taking supplements, and then you just take the assessment with my exclusive link, and just so they know and learn more on what the best supplements would be for you. And this giveaway will only last for 1 week after I post the video. This first DIY is a bunny sign, and I'm just going to be using a Christmas sign in Waverly chalk paint in white and painting the entire back side. So I'm just going to be taking a ruler and a pen and just drawing some lines on the different parts of the wood and just making some shiplap. This bunny is a printable I found on Pinterest, and it is linked in the original video, which I will link all the original videos in the description box below. And I'm just using some carbon paper and tracing 3 bunnies. I seen this last year at Walmart, and I thought it'd be a really cute idea to just recreate something, and this only cost me $1 instead of spending like $5 or $6 on a sign from Walmart. And then I'm just using the acrylic paints from Apple Barrel, painting these bunnies. And then I just had some flowers from Dollar Tree, and I decided to add those for their little tails. And I did just use a decal I just made off of my Silhouette Studio. It just says Hippity Hop, and then I'm just using twine to put around the little holes to make a sign. And I just decided to stand this up, but you can hang it on your door if you chose to. But I'm loving the way this turned out. I think it's still super cute, and I love the colors for Easter time. It's just a cute little bunny planter. I'm using 2 different sizes of these little globe vases from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just using the Waverly chalk paint in white and painting the globes. Now I think I did 2 coats, but like I said, the original video will be in the description box below. And then I just only had a navy permanent marker. Definitely could use like a Cricut or a decal, but I thought this was cute either way, and I'm just making a little bunny face on it. And this was so easy to put together. Then I also just printed out some ears, and these were also off of Pinterest, and I just traced them onto some felt because this bunny needs some ears, and I thought felt would stick up a lot better than using just regular paper, and it would last a lot longer. Then I did just glue the paper right onto the felt because, like I said, it will stand up. And I thought this was just a super easy way. So instead of using like a ton of different colors of felt, this was just way easier for me to do. And then I just glued them onto the inside of the globe. And then I'm just going to glue the 2 vases together because this is going to be the bunny's body. And then once I glue these together, you could see some of the glue, but that is totally okay because we can just wrap some twine around it. I thought I was going to make a bow like this, but I just decided to put twine, and then I did have a cute little burlap bow from a burlap fabric, so I just glued it right to the middle. And I think this turned out really good, but it also covered all the little flaws, which we definitely want to cover some of the flaws. And then I just had some really cute florals from the Dollar Tree, cut them down and shoved them in the top to make this a cute little vase or like a planter with a bunny head, and I love this one. This is super cute. I actually think my mom took this one from me because I could not find it, and I know for a fact she did take this one, but I love how he turned out. So simple and super easy to put together. Next one is a little trash to treasure redo. I love finding signs like this, especially when it is wood, and then I just took my Waverly chalk paint in white and painted the entire thing white. I could have definitely probably sanded everything off, but obviously I chose not to for this one. Using the Waverly Wax Antique, I'm just kind of dry brushing on the edges to make it a little more distressed and rustic because I love a good rustic farmhouse piece. And then this fresh Flower Market Seeds in Bloom is just a decal I cut with my silhouette. I love using my silhouette. So I have a silhouette and I have a Cricut. But I love my silhouette because it always has just a lot of farmhouse decals that I just absolutely love. So I only cut vinyl with my silhouette. I don't know how to do anything else with it, but I just really enjoy like the decals you can purchase. And then I'm just using some of these little spring fuzzy florals from Dollar Tree. And they do have these back this year, so I am super excited. I grabbed a ton of those again, and I'm just gluing them to the top. And then I'm just adding another one of those little burlap bows from Burlap Fabric. Alright, so here is a cute little birdhouse. This was free, and I loved the way this looked in general, but obviously it did need like a little revamp. I wanted to make it match my farmhouse decor, and I also did give this one away as a gift eventually. I give a lot of my stuff away because I make so much, so I figured I might as well make somebody else super happy. So I just took out the old moss and I decided to paint it white, and this is the Waverly chalk paint once again. I normally use this because it covers just really well, and sometimes I only have to do one coat, and I'm all about only having to do one coat of paint. So once I painted that, I did use the Waverly chalk paint in Celery, and I painted where the red color was, so like the roof and the bottom, I did use that Celery color. I did want to kind of give it a white coat to the top because I wanted to kind of give it like a little primer, so I didn't have to do a ton of coats with the Celery because this may or may not have covered well, but I'm just painting like I'm just covering the bottom, but I'm just painting the bottom with the Celery color along with the roof. And I'm just adding a saying love grows here, and I love this just because you can always add like an actual real plant if you chose to. I just added some fake greenery, some moss, added a cute little burlap bird. This was from Hobby Lobby, but I love that saying. And if you don't have a Cricut or a silhouette, don't worry about it. You can always use stickers, you can use stencils. I just use whatever I have on hand and whatever is easier for me. But I love these little burlap birds. I picked those up quite a few years ago from Hobby Lobby. And then I'm just going back in with this terracotta pot, painting it white, and then like I said, just adding some florals from the Dollar Tree. Next one is just a little terrarium. This is what it looked like when I picked it up. This was from Goodwill. I can't remember how much it cost, but like I said, all the links to the videos will be in the description box if you want like a longer tutorial. I kind of cut this in half, or this video would be forever. So I end up tearing everything apart and using these moss sheets from the Dollar Tree. It's really cool they have moss sheets. They're sticky on the back, so it works well. So this took one whole moss sheet, and then I did have to cut them. And, oh no, they're not sticky. I lied. Wow, why did I think they were sticky? Obviously they weren't, but I did use hot glue and glued them to the bottom, so sorry for that. They're not sticky. Use some glue. And like I said, I did have to cut some pieces because you can tell there is still parts missing. Some terracotta pots from Dollar Tree, Waverly chalk paint and celery. And I want to say I did use some other colors, possibly not, but I had my sweet little girl Scarlett help me. My craft room doesn't look any better right now than that. Yeah, and this was last year. And this little pot I think came from Hobby Lobby or a garage sale. I can't remember. I want to say Hobby Lobby. They always have super cute galvanized items, and sometimes when they're 50% off, they're only like $1, $2, sometimes maybe even a little bit less. But you can find some really cute things, and I'm just using some twine and tying things, just kind of making this terrarium how I want. And I just used some lavender from Walmart. I used terracotta pots, and I just ended up putting everything in and decorating it, and you can switch it around. It doesn't really matter. I had some pots laying on the sides. This was just a really cute thing to put together. Next DIY, I'll just be taking a Easter wreath from the Dollar Tree and ripping all of this mesh, all of that mess off is what we're going to say. I'm using a bunch of burlap and ribbon from the Dollar Tree and a big giant roll of burlap. This is from Burlap Fabric, and I did just cut these down to the same sizes. You can choose whatever size you want, however long you want the ribbon. Like you said, I don't know exactly what size I used. I want to say like 8 to 10 inches. And then I just took them and started tying everything around in a pattern. And then I ended up tying more pink to the top for the ears. This was such a fun little DIY to do. I used a ribbon from Burlap Fabric to put in the middle of his neck. And yeah, this was really simple and easy. I just tied a bunch of ribbon and a bunch of burlap together, and this was just such a cute little wreath. I actually still have this because it is one of my favorite things I've made. Another trash to treasure, thrift, flip, thrift makeover, whatever you want to call it. I love this little door. I ended up taking some painter's tape so I didn't get the paint on the screen because I did want to keep that in there because I want it to look exactly how it was, but just a different color to match my decor. And I just used Waverly chalk paint in white. These wreath forms and this lavender were from Dollar Tree, and I just decided to make a quick little wreath. So I love when I use these wreath forms to make a wreath. I love just wrapping burlap all around so I can start gluing my flowers on. I always cut my flowers down and I always glue them on. I just think it just gives it a more full look, but they also seem to last a little bit longer. I have a really hard time using the floral wire or the tape. It just never works out in my favor, ever. I've bought a ton of it. I've tried to use it a million times. This is just the way I like it. Plus, if you see the burlap through the wreath, it doesn't matter. It still looks super cute. This one, I'm just using a Christmas tag sign from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to be painting it in Waverly chalk paint in white once again. I use this for so much. I don't even know why I tell you guys what color white chalk paint I use. It's probably a little bit overplayed on my channel, but this has been actually my favorite chalk paint to use. I love the Rust-Oleum chalk paint as well, but this is just one of my favorites. I am also using this agave. I have said this wrong in the other video, and so many people gave me attitude for not saying something right. And I will say this, and I will say this again. I'm from Michigan, and I guess that we learned things differently because we just learned how to sound words out. I don't think it really matters if I say a word wrong. We all say different things differently because we're from different states. So I won't even, I'll say what I want. We're going to just leave it at that because, like I said, I got so much hate for my last video because I said a paint color wrong. It was crazy. And then I just traced out this bunny. This is a free printable I found off Pinterest and painting it white. Waverly chalk paint white. I glued the two signs together because I wanted to make a super cute door hanger. And that is what I did. I love the way this looks. I did some dry brushing around this just to kind of make it fade into the back sign. These are really cute, so never throw away your Christmas signs, never get rid of them. And if you want to paint the back sides, you don't need to pack them up because you can use it for any holiday you want. This is another bow from Burlap Fabric. They have the absolute cutest bows, and I'm not a good bow maker, so I love buying all my bows pre-made. And then using some twine. This twine is also from Burlap Fabric, and I'm just wrapping it around the top. This one is a toolbox. This was what, $2? $2 from a yard sale, and I ended up having my husband have to rip off the stars. Those did not come off as easy as I thought. It looks like someone just painted this on their own, but I thought that why not? No, look, somebody bought it. It still has a tag on it. That is, don't you think that's kind of weird that they didn't paint the inside? Maybe, maybe not. I feel like if I don't paint the inside of my toolboxes, they're super unfinished. I had to go outside, sand this down because there was so much glue from the stars and everything. Using my Waverly chalk paint in white, I'm just painting the entire toolbox. This little wood sign was from Dollar Tree, and I decided to paint this black, and I think I just used the acrylic black from Apple Barrel. I started to run out of paint. I think this was actually during when COVID started. Do we even want to talk about COVID in this video? No, I don't want to. But I think this is when I started running out of items to use, so it was like it was a breath of fresh air when I was able to go out and buy paint. You guys have no idea. Like, paint was like scarce at the time. I'm using the Waverly Chalk paint. I think this is a lavender. It's just the light purple color. You don't get too many choices of Waverly Chalk paint. And this says fresh, what does this say? Fresh flowers. And I just made a stencil with my silhouette, and then I just peeled that off. And then after that, I just used some floral foam from Dollar Tree and a ton of leftover flowers I had from previous DIYs. I just sometimes like to redo items that I know I won't use anymore, but I never get rid of flowers because look how cute these are. I'm so glad I kept those around. And then I just put those in, made a cute little floral box, and that was it for this one. But I love these flowers. I kind of hope they kind of get some like this again because these are some of my favorites to use. Next one is just a fast little wreath. I've already told you my little secret for wreaths, so I'm just wrapping burlap around it, and then I just take a little bit of hot glue to secure it all. And then I had this little welcome sign I'm going to be adding to the center of this. Presley's feet. Of course, my kids are always with me. This little welcome sign came from, I think, a tobacco basket that I had from a Goodwill, and I just saved this welcome sign, and I'm just adding these little balls and these little florals. These are all from Dollar Tree, and these were super cute. I actually love these little balls. I kind of hope these come back as well. And I'm just adding some lavender in to give it some purple. I love these three colors together. They have to be one of my favorites, especially for Easter time and springtime. And this is all I did. I just kept packing it full until you couldn't see barely any of the burlap. And yeah, this was super easy. I love making wreaths because they are so easy to make. Video is actually from a mystery box challenge. I'm using this canvas bag, these chalkboard wood stakes, and some wooden letters along with a canvas from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just cutting the canvas bag apart, and I'm going to be actually just gluing it right to the front of this canvas to make a cute little spring/Easter sign. And this was a really quick DIY to do. I love everything that is fast and easy, and I did obviously overcut the canvas bag or it wouldn't have fit onto the canvas because you want to glue it on the back side. You don't want it to like super secure. You'll be able to see the glue, and we just don't want that. So gluing it all on the back side. And then I just used one of the same free printables, and I am just tracing on here with a pencil so then I can eventually go back and paint it. And I thought it would be cute to add Bunny Farm because sometimes when you use the letters from the Dollar Tree, you don't get as many letters or duplicate letters. So Bunny Farm it was. And then I'm just using the Waverly Chalk paint and celery once again. I love these green colors. I love the celery color by Waverly along with the moss. And then here we go. In with the Waverly Chalk paint in white to paint the bunny. And for his tail, I just wadded up a little cupcake liner and glued it right to his behind. I'll be using a fence from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be reusing this bucket because who doesn't like to redo things once in a while? I love keeping things around. It makes everything just so much cheaper. I cut everything down because I'm actually going to add this fence to a frame later on using some paint brushes from Dollar Tree in Weirdly Chalk Paint White. I'm going to stop saying that. If you guys can guess how many times I said that, you guys will win a prize. Yeah, just dry brushing this fence because I did not want it completely black. And then I cut a decal out with my silhouette. It says carrots, garden, homegrown, 10 cents, all kinds of that like cute stuff. And I obviously messed up on that decal and I never realized it because I thought this was like a really cute thing until just now. That carrot they're not in place. I don't know what happened there. Using a frame, this was just from a garage sale or Goodwill, somewhere along the lines of that. Painting it with the white color paint that I always use, and then I ended up just adding some scrapbook paper to the center of this, adding the glass back in, gluing the fence down, gluing the vase with the wrong unfinished, I don't know what happened to that decal, that I never knew about until just now, a year later, I realized that it was in the wrong. Gluing it all together, adding some greenery, purplish color flowers from Dollar General. And that's all for this one. This one actually still is cute, even though the decal is a tiny bit messed up. Another wreath. This is going to be like an Easter egg wreath. I am just using a butter knife to cut these little foam eggs. These were from Dollar Tree as well. I don't like the glitter. I don't like the colors, so I did not painting them with Weirdly Chalk Paint White, and then I'm going to go back in with some other colors. I think I used a pink, this celery color, and like the lavender color from Waverly Chalk Paint. I think it's like Ballet Slipper and Waverly Chalk Paint. Anyways, this is just like a nice little primer. This takes forever to make, but it's so worth it. So yeah, we got what? Celery, Ballet Slipper, and lavender. Yeah, I was right here. Yeah, so I'm just painting just a bunch of them different colors, and then I do end up taking these outside and splattering them with black paint to make them speckled. And then when everything is dry, I'm just adding these eggs on wherever I want. I didn't really start out with a pattern, but I think I did end up doing a pattern because I'm like, why didn't I do a pattern to start with? And then I just added the eggs everywhere I could. I added them on the front. I also added them on the sides. And then once all the eggs were in place, I just cut up a bunch of moss and started gluing the moss inside or in between all around the eggs. If you guys want to know about my DIYs and a little backstory or Yeah, I have a lot of stories, but this one, I hung this on my front door and the wind destroyed it, like absolutely destroyed it. It took it to the neighbor's yard. It was demolished. So this was really sad, but I love looking back and seeing this wreath because I think I may have to make another one because this one just turned out so stinking cute. If you're looking for an easy project, all you gotta do is grab a planter from the Dollar Tree, paint it any color you want, and just add some lavender floral into it. I spray painted this little rope. It did not turn out, it was really crusty and I couldn't get all of the rope in. I used almost the whole thing of spray paint. I was like, this is kind of a waste of money because that spray paint, the aged copper by Rust-Oleum, it's really expensive. So I was like, you know, we're just gonna leave it. I don't like it. It looks terrible, right? So I gave up there, added some lavender from Walmart, added some of those cute little speckled eggs from Dollar Tree, and called it a day. For this last one, I'll be using a mason jar sign from Dollar Tree, painting it white, and then I'll be adding another one of those cute little bunny free printables onto here, and I just trace it on, paint it, call it good, and I'm using the ballet slipper. Obviously, I have a few favorite colors that I use for springtime, but I don't use a whole lot of pinks, I don't use a whole lot of purples, so it's kind of fun when springtime comes around and I can explore and use different colors and everything's not black, white, and gray and brown. So here we go, painting the bunny. This is super cute, and then I'm adding some stickers from Dollar Tree just to make this a little bit more cute, and a flower from Dollar Tree. But you guys, that's it for the video. I hope you got some Easter and spring inspiration. And if you like this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. And also don't forget to check out Persona Nutrition and make sure you enter my giveaway for a free month of Persona. But that's it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!